Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm Cody. Nice to meet you.
I'm Kobe. Nice to meet you.
Awesome. So you've won Big Brother 5 times now.
I have.
And we have a few questions built up for each coaches we'll be asking. You're the first segment, and then we'll have Alex, Dylan, and Sarah following you.
Okay.
So we're going to ask some questions today, and we just want to get some answers on your insight before playing the last game as a coach and kind of get your mindset of how you've been doing.
All right. Sounds good.
Awesome. So the first question we have is, how do you think your focus will be going into this game as a coach rather than a player?
Ooh, it's going to be kind of difficult because as a player, you kind of have to think about your own strategy.
Mm-hmm.
As a coach, you have to think about everyone else's strategy and then try to nitpick out of everyone's, so it's kind of hard to explain because I haven't really thought about it that much. But yeah, just basically you want to make up your own strategy as a coach, then try to implement that into everyone else's strategy so they stay in the game longer, and then they eventually, most likely, hopefully win.
Okay, so you're kind of saying like at least use a piece of your strategy and kind of implement it into your players.
Yeah.
Okay, solid. Next question we have is, how did you initially feel when playing Big Brother 11, also known as Big Brother Rebirth, without your partner in crime?
How did I feel? I felt a little scared. Because, at first, before you, my partner in crime told me anything about the game, other than I'm just going to be playing alone, it's like, I kind of thought that right away I was going to get first one out, just booted out of the game.
You have won 4 times prior.
Yeah, I have won 4 times prior than that. And I just got super scared. But then he told me a little bit more about the rules and how I would have a solid 4-game safe route kind of thing.
Oh, for 4 rounds?
Yeah, for 4 rounds.
Okay. That was the veteran Swiss at that time.
Yeah. So that's what gave me a little bit more confidence. Then I had to basically figure out who I was going to partner up with and who was going to stay loyal to me as well.
Okay.
And thankfully, Dylan came in clutch for that. So he helped me out a lot in that one.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Awesome. So our third question is, do you think you're going to be able to get your team members to the finals?
Well, I can't predict the future, so I'm hoping I do.
Okay.
But it's also more of a what-if scenario than, what's actually going to happen in the game. Because since I don't know everybody's strategy on how they want to play, and I don't know what the coaches are going to be saying.
True.
So it's all about seeing if I can get lucky and push my team to the very top.
True. Actually, Richard, and you actually have never met with the 4th coach being Alex, huh? You haven't played in a game with him.
Nope, I have never played with him.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah. It's going to be scary.
4th question. What is the first thing you notice about a person?
First thing I notice about a person?
Getting a little deep here.
Yeah. First thing I notice about a person is in-game or just regular life?
We'll go with both.
Go with both. Okay, it's in-game, it's you kind of, in the back of your head, you kind of know who's probably going to backstab you either right away or at least keep you around just as a tool, as a pawn for their game. So that's how I kind of think about it in the game-wise. In normal life, first thing I kind of notice about someone is a little bit of their personality. Just a slight bit, though. Even though they don't show it completely when you first meet a new person, you can still see at least a snippet, either if it's their happy side or their annoyed side or anger or something like that. But it's you kind of piece together a little bit from just what you see in someone on how they are as a person.
No, that's very, very true. And one thing I like to branch off of that is, can you tell when you're playing Big Brother who's just using you at the moment, or does that not usually come into mind?
At first when I start off the game, it doesn't really pop into my mind until possibly the second game.
Okay.
Because the second game is where you kind of figure out who's on your team and wants to keep you around based off of how they're treating you as a person in the game.
Yeah.
And then you can also see how it's if you're not so good within the game or important to that person, you kind of know that you're going to get booted off really quick.
Okay, interesting. And for the last question we have is, what challenges do you think you're going to face when trying to lead a team to victory?
Challenges. probably first off is being coach.
Okay.
that one's gonna be a little hard because I'm gonna have to come up with a strategy for my team
Yeah.
and basically try to lead them to victory, and hopefully that plan goes by smoothly.
Mhm.
Otherwise, I'm gonna have to take my plan, execute it, then throw it away. Eventually.
Very, very true.
Yeah.
Plus, at this point, I also feel like if one of your players do not win 1,000, I feel like you would be to blame
yeah,
from their perspective.
Yeah, it's I would be to blame really badly, and say I want my players to win the game without blaming me for everything. So, like probably right off the bat, I'm just gonna tell them it's like we're gonna do our best,
Okay.
and it's like whatever happens, happens. It's like nothing could have prevented that.
Okay, awesome. And we'll just add one bonus question: is which coach do you think will be the most troublesome going up against?
Oh, which coach
And
is
why?
probably the most troublesome? I want to say Alex.
Oh, and why?
Well,
Ah.
I've never met Alex.
Okay.
I don't know his playing style. I know everyone else's playing style based off of either playing multiple games with them or at least one game.
Okay.
So,
Very
and
fair.
Alex is like, I haven't heard much about how his gameplay was other than he won lots of games, played it right, and
Uh-huh.
eventually beat everybody in the end.
Very true. He actually did break the record for most competition wins,
Yeah.
and he played very beautifully throughout the whole game.
Yeah.
So,
That's gonna be a tough one to beat.
well, awesome. I hope you guys have a good time when that does come around, and I hope all the coaches have a great time. Best of luck for you.
All right, thank you, sir.
Of course. Thank you so much.
Have a nice one.
Hello, I'm Cody. Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you too.
All right, so Alex, we do know you're going to be a coach in the next Big Brother game with Dylan, Sarah, and Kobe as well. So we're just going to ask you 5 questions today and just kind of get your insight on what's going through your head for the big game. Sound okay?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. So the first question we have is, how do you think your focus will be going into this game as a coach rather than a player?
To be honest, I feel like I'm still going to be like an information gatherer for my team.
Okay.
So try and use my role to try and gather information and whatnot for my players.
Okay.
And I don't know. I guess I would just kind of let them choose how they want to do things. Obviously, you know, if they want me to help them build relationships between other players or other
Okay.
teams or anything like that, like obviously that's an option. But more as like guidance and just an information gathering, just give them the information. Be like, here's what's going on.
Okay.
You choose how you want to do it.
So more of a knowledge base than a friend of need be to help protect them.
Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Next question we have is, what do you think your mindset will be to be able to get 3 of your team members to the winning side?
Again, just like having the most knowledge. I think in this game, like
Okay.
knowledge is definitely what helped me win.
From a different points of
Yeah.
view.
And like, yeah, just knowing where everybody's at is probably one of the best things that you can have in the game. It's better than knowing everything in the world and being the most physically gifted.
Okay.
Is if you know what's going on and who's choosing what, and you're just good enough to pass all of those things,
Yeah,
I mean, you can win.
that's true.
Any day of the week.
That's solid. Third question is, what is going to be your main focus for this last Big Brother game?
Just definitely like having fun.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
and just being with everybody and, you know, cool weekend.
Okay.
It'll be a lot of fun, good experiences. And obviously it's a bigger game, so just getting to more know people or
True.
getting to know more people
Okay.
is what I'll be looking forward to. Like, it'll be really cool.
Awesome. Okay. Fourth question is, how does it feel to be undefeated and the record breaker for most competition wins? Also, how does it feel being known to play probably the most perfect game that has been played up to this point?
Yeah, 1-0. Yeah. Undefeated. Yeah, I mean, I was super shocked when I heard it because I felt like I didn't do that well. Like, I look back on it and feel like I could have done things differently and
Yeah.
better. But, I mean, to hear you say the perfect game, obviously, like, if I did some things different, maybe it would have shaked out different.
True.
I wouldn't have won.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it was good I did it the way I did it.
Okay.
And I was super shocked to hear that I won the most challenges, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's what it is. You know, I can't even remember all the ones that I won. To be honest, I know I won the final 3.
I remember your
Um,
Pulp Fiction one.
Pulp Fiction,
Your Incredibles.
Incredibles, and then what was the 2 vetoes? I don't even remember that because I know I lost musical chairs, hula hoop jumps, like I
There's
lost
a lot
all
of
of
games.
those. Yeah. Thumb war. I remember I won that one,
Yeah.
and that was crazy.
Did you play in the cups? I think against Aaliyah, the Red
Yeah,
Cups.
I did. I did win that one. Yeah, but it was only like us two. I felt like
Yeah, because it was because of Adam's curse was on two people at random.
exactly. Yeah,
So-
yeah. So,
There
but
you
that
go.
was crazy. Yeah, I guess that one, if I lost, it would have been a tie
Yeah.
for the best. So.
And then the last question is, what are you most concerned for going into this game?
I guess like the new people
Okay.
and not knowing
Any background?
any background or people that I just haven't played with. Again, I've only played one game.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
there's a lot of people here that I don't really know. Obviously, I know Dylan,
Yeah.
and he's really awesome, really good at the game. Won a ton of challenges. He scared the crap out of us when
Yeah.
he first came in. Like, it was crazy. He was really good. Obviously, Sarah is really good, really consistent. Austin's really good too. But like
And you have yet to
outside
meet-
of that, like I haven't met Cody, which is the other coach.
Yeah, who's won 5 times?
Or
Kobe.
Kobe.
Yeah.
My bad. I'm
You're
sorry.
good.
And then, like, pretty much anybody else.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like one or two people. Didn't you say? I mean, I don't know who's gonna be there. But
We don't know the whole roster yet. All we know is the main coaches. I'm trying to gather the rest of the people.
okay, I got you. Yeah. So, I mean, all the people we're talking about going, I only know like 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah,
So-
because it's not going to be like a copy and paste of the older roster.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
Kobe at the mid for winning 5 times is a pretty good achievement.
Yeah. Yeah. I know that he's definitely up there, but he's not undefeated.
Yeah, he's not in the
So-
so that is true. All right, well that's all we really have for you today. Thank you so much and best of luck when the game comes.
Appreciate
Awesome.
you.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
one. Well, I'm Cody. Nice to meet you.
Whoa.
Oh, nice to meet you, Dylan. So, as you know, we are doing interviews with all the coaches. We've already interviewed Kobe and Alex, and you're our third one to do before doing Sarah's the final. So, our first question for you today is, how do you think your focus will be going into this game as a coach rather than a player?
That's an interesting question, Cody, who I just met. Yeah, going into this third game as a coach will be different because I think I will be able to see things from an outside perspective instead of being like in one zone, trying to navigate my way through everything. I'll be able to kind of communicate with more players on an unbiased level necessarily. Even though there'll be like different teams, I'll be able to work with multiple players
Yeah.
without being too picky on who I want to win.
Okay.
Obviously, I want to have as much teamwork as possible. I would like to have my team work with other teams to take out, either Sarah's or Kobe's, or Alex's teams.
Okay.
Eventually, so my team gets to, final against a different team, and then we can just sweep them out through sheer competition power.
Okay. So you inject your competition beast psyche on your team.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a very good answer. Okay, second question. How does it feel being known as the competition beast out of all 12 past games of Big Brother?
It feels good, but it's also kind of annoying because I'm always such a big target for everybody because I do so well at the competitions, but I have a hard time not being good at competitions, if that makes sense. Like, I have to give it my all no matter what,
Okay.
and so the fact that I win a lot feels great, but it's also maybe not always the best strategy for this game.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's very fair. So our next question for you is, what's the best advice for someone when coming into this game?
Be good at competitions, but hide it just a little bit. Don't let everybody know that you're good at competitions. You gotta play the psyche game a little bit.
So don't be dumb.
Don't be me.
Okay. So our fourth question is, how do you think your team would do overall if they played as direct as you do? Kind of.
Honestly, it'd be interesting.
Okay.
Because there would be a cohesive team.
Mm-hmm.
If they were to work together, I think they could do really well. And then there would be obviously discrepancies between. Because I've always been able to get to generally a high number, Final 4, Final 5.
Correct.
If I have 4 team players underneath me, it's 4, right?
3.
With 3 team players beneath me, I feel like I could get it if they played as direct as me. I could get them to the final 3 at least, and then just let them wreak havoc on each other. At that point, I win.
I mean, you do win the $100. Yeah.
So.
Okay. Well, that's very fair. Okay, so our fifth question for you, which is a bit of a long one,
Okay.
is one of my all-time personal favorite moments is in Big Brother Legacy when you clean house when you entered in through the battle back. One thing that I personally love is when you had your conversation with Sarah, which is also another great player as well, outside, and it was so climactic as if you're putting down a dog. I really loved as you stand beneath her and tell her that her journey's done. It's very well done and very climactic.
Yeah.
And I do appreciate the honesty that you do use. The question I have to ask from this is now, both of you being coaches instead of players, how do you think your rivalry will go this time? Considering she really tries to go for you most of the time with blood, and it usually always doesn't work.
I think between the 3 other coaches, I mean, I hope they don't see this before. Wink, wink. But,
You're okay.
but I think Kobe is the one I can trust the least.
Oh, okay.
Because he's a sneaky one. I like playing with people that I can read their thoughts and opinions. And Kobe is very hard to tell what he's thinking or what his plan is.
He's also won 5 times.
And he won 5 times. Sarah, I think, is a little bit easier to read, and I would be okay with working with her. Maybe get our 2 teams to take out the other 2. Alex, I don't know a lot about, but I also feel like I gained a lot of trust from him.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was so honest with him last game that I could see us working together. So yeah, as far as Sarah goes, I'm pretty indifferent at this point. I don't know. I'm not opposed to working with her or against her. I'll just have to see as the game goes on.
Okay, well, that's very good. Yeah, so that's all we have for you today. Thank you so much, and best of luck to you in Big Brother Legends Arise.
Yeah. Well.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Cody. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Cody.
Hi, Sarah. So today you are the last coach we will be filming. We have 5 questions to ask you for Big Brother Legends coming up, as you are one of the 4 coaches alongside Alex, Dylan, and Kobe. And so our first question for you today is, how do you think your focus will be going into this game as a coach rather than a player?
It's kind of a tricky question, actually. I don't know. I guess it's like the same, but I want to say I won't be selfish.
Okay.
I think when you're playing individually, you don't have as much to work with because you're just you, and so your assets are kind of more limited. And if you're a coach and you have a whole team of people, then you have more resources to kind of get your game further.
Okay.
Get your players' game further.
So kind of have to worry about more people than just yourself in the main scope.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. For our second question is, you've tried different styles of playing that were for yourself, so kind of what you were saying. What is your next strategy now with having to care for 3 people on your team? Because before you would kind of change your scope easily as you were going along, but how are you able to do that with a team of 3?
Well, I mean, as to how I'm going to do it, communication's obviously going to be very,
Okay.
very, very important. When you're kind of playing solo, sometimes you just have to make it up as you're going along, and I think there'll probably still be a little bit of that, but if communication fails in this aspect, then everyone's going to fail. So.
Okay. No, solid. So our third question is, who are you most worried about going into the game?
My husband.
Okay. And why is that?
Because I know I won't get the opportunity to pick him.
Okay.
And he's a strong competitor, so
Okay.
I'm going to have to keep my eye out.
Or do you think you might go after him first then, or?
I haven't decided who I'm picking yet, and I'm going to keep that secret.
Okay, cool. So our next question is, what are your first few steps you want to take when the game begins?
The first thing, obviously, that I would want to do is I would just want to sit down and talk with all of my teammates and kind of figure out what their expectations are from me as a coach and how I can accommodate that.
Okay, nice. And so our last question here is, are you thinking of creating any alliances off the bat when this game begins with any other players or coaches?
I've thought about it a lot.
Okay.
And I've kind of played out several different scenarios in my head.
Okay.
There's obviously several people that you could kind of make an alliance with. And
Yeah.
I think there's risks to making an alliance and there's risks to not making an alliance. So
Okay.
I'm still weighing that.
Okay. And no one will see this until the actual game is over. So one bonus question, which we did talk to Dylan last night. A very climactic moment, which I thought was a very big moment in Big Brother, is when you guys had your talk outside, and it was like he's putting down a dog. We already had his response for it. Do you think your guys' rivalry will continue as coaches going into this game, or how do you see that relationship developing?
I hope not.
Okay.
I really hope not.
So
I
you're
feel
hoping to
like
be fresh? Or?
I feel like we wrapped it up pretty well. I feel like he was very genuine with me.
Okay.
Even though I was like a dog at the slaughter. I believe his apology, he had to do what he had to do for his game.
Okay.
It sucked.
He's never lied either. He's always been honest, too, which is a big thing for him.
Yeah.
So do you think...
And I never lied to him either, so I think we had a little bit of a miscommunication for a while, but hopefully this time could be better. We had a really solid alliance the first time we played, and it got us both really far, and maybe we can both benefit if we go back to that. So.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, and best of luck to you when the game comes around.
Thanks.
Hello, I'm Cody. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Trevor. Nice to meet you.
Nice. So today we have 5 questions for you. You will be a Big Brother coach. You will be replacing Dylan as he's not been able to be in this game for production reasoning. He is firefighting. So we do have you as the replacement. You are the winner of Big Brother 2, and you receive 2nd place in Big Brother 9. So I have 5 questions for you today. Our first one is, how do you think your focus will be going into this game as a coach rather than a player?
So this one's going to be a lot more of team strategy instead of being a solo player. So I'm going to be working with my team to get them to actually work with each other and maybe try and join another alliance so we have a stronger group.
Okay. So try to build teamwork and then try to see if you can group some other people on the outside?
Yes.
Nice. Okay. So for our second question, for not playing in the last 3 years, who are you most worried about coming to the game? You know Alex will be there. You know Sarah and Austin.
I'm not too worried about the other coaches so much because coach can only do so much if their players don't listen. So out of the new players, I would honestly say I think Austin's probably my biggest threat.
Oh, okay.
I don't really know any of the others too well to know how big of a threat they are, but I know that he's done pretty well in past games.
Okay, nice. And then when going into this game, unknown to 70% of the house, what do you think will be your greatest strength?
Being unknown, to be honest.
Not
because
not
no one knows how I play, so...
Okay.
With the players that I do have, whoever they end up being, maybe we can kind of sneak under the radar because it's a new play strategy no one's seen before.
Okay, no, that's solid. And then question 4, what coach do you think you will try and work with when the game begins?
Definitely Kobe.
Kobe? Okay.
Kobe's always been a good asset.
Okay, and he's won 5 times.
Yeah, there's that too, so... I mean, I think working with him, anyone that we have on our team is going to go far.
Solid, okay. And then our last question here is, when going to the house, how are you going to approach the couple of Austin and Sarah Campbell? They both have received runner-up spots in the last 2 games that were played, Legacy and Rebirth, and they've only both played twice, and they both received 2nd.
Jeez. Well, at least they're not playing this time, since one is a coach. And with that, we might have a better chance because they might get separated unless they manage to team up together, but we don't know how that will go. If they team up together, then it's going to be a struggle. But if they're separated, I'm not too worried, except for the possibility of them convincing their other players to join as a team.
To help benefit us in the long run?
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's solid. All right, well, yeah, that's all we have for you today. Best of luck when the game comes, and I wish you the best.
Thanks.
Have a good one. Hello, I'm Cody. Nice to meet you.
Hi.
All right, Austin. So today we have 5 questions for you. You were originally a player in the Big Brother Legends game. You're now going to be a coach, as in Alex has now not been able to compete for production reasoning. So we have 5 questions for you today. The first one is, how do you think your focus will be going into this game as a coach rather than a player?
Well, it's especially with how we're setting it up with teams, it has to be more team-based.
Okay.
So whereas when I played before, although I had the mentality if I need to get there with a team, it was always just, I need to win.
Okay.
This time around, it's going to much more so be like all right, we all need to sort of get there, and I need to guide all of them to get there.
Okay, cool.
So it's not, and I don't get to have any direct influence over them.
Kind of just like helping out here and there.
Yeah, it'll just be more of like this is a good idea, maybe we should try that, this is what happened before.
Okay.
So it's more like knowledge-based.
Okay, cool. No, I can appreciate that. Second question, as now joining the coaches circle, are you worried about any of the other coaches?
Colby worries me.
Oh, okay.
Just because he's good with his head.
Yeah.
When I played with him before, he's not like the competition beast. until it really matters. He got to where he got initially with just his head. Like, he's really good at thinking out things.
Yeah.
So it's like, if he's good at thinking out things and communicating with his team on what that is, that could be dangerous.
Okay.
I would say that could equally probably match what I might be able to do. And that would scare me.
Okay. No, I can completely get that. And he's also won 5 times.
Yeah.
So
respect for winning 5 times. The difference here is it's not just, okay, you as a player. Now it's you as a coach. How well can you teach others to do what you did?
Okay.
And so I don't know if he can do it yet or not. If he can, that's what will worry me.
Okay. No, I completely can get you there. Question 3 is, do you plan on playing dirty at all or making any crazy game moves from your coach standpoint?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to tear it up.
Okay. I appreciate it.
I want to make it a little interesting.
So it's like a normal, it's like HOH veto done, HOH veto done.
Yeah, it's not fun if it's just a clean, smooth ride, you know? You got to have the bumps with this one.
Okay.
So,
no, I completely can get where you're coming from. Question 4, with Sarah being a coach and now you joining the coach rank, how do you two plan to take out the competition?
nobody sees this till after, right?
No one sees it till after. So you're okay.
So it's like we were talking about before. I would love to have something with Sarah completely on the back end that almost goes completely unnoticed.
Okay.
If it goes how I want, I would love to make an early alliance with another coach.
Okay.
With the acknowledgement that I'm perfectly okay with Sarah not winning and her team not winning. I want to have an interesting game.
Okay.
And depending on how it goes, that might be the truth.
Just having a good time.
Just having a good time, causing the chaos. But, I mean, obviously, with both of us in there, it is a 50-50 shot to win the $100.
Yeah.
So the odds are good no matter what. And I have no clue what Sarah will do. Sarah, in my opinion, will be the one who plays dirty, I think, if anybody.
Oh, okay.
I think she'll pull some bigger moves than the others might be willing to.
Okay.
Especially since she won't be the one who takes the hit for it.
Yeah.
I could see that happening.
Okay. No, that'd be interesting, actually. I'm curious. Last question here is, how do you feel with the famous Dylan not being able to join this game, as his name continuously gets brought up by people that are very glad he will not be there? Whether it be a player or a coach.
Relieved.
Okay.
It's just, he's such a wrench in things.
Yeah.
Because it's like he has that ability to just continue to win, and he can do it multiple times in a row.
He's always honest.
And what really screwed it up when we played with him the last couple times is the one time he slips up is your one chance to get him out.
Yeah.
And it usually happens, but it also makes it so what you might have been planning because you've been counting on him winning, the time he doesn't, it screws up who you probably needed to be out.
Okay.
So will that scenario happen again? Probably not.
Okay.
And that's what will be the relieving part, is I think it's just going to be a little easier to gauge and plan around because you're not going to just be able to count on him winning and then have him not and screw it all up.
Okay, no, I can completely get that. Yeah, he seems to really destroy the house when he goes in. He hasn't won before yet, but he's gone up 1 rank every time he has played.
Yeah.
And so I know him and Sarah have a huge rivalry on their back end.
Yeah.
So.
Which would be nice to not exist.
And last question, I guess, is a bonus question. Do you respect his type of gameplay from a player perspective?
I would say yeah, I respect it.
Okay.
I fully acknowledge that it's likely not ever the way to win.
Okay, which he hasn't, so.
Yeah, like it's... you have to be more strategic than he is.
Okay.
I can respect it, like he wants to be honest, he wants to play well, which he does, but it never will win. You can never do that all the way through and not have somebody flip on you because they know exactly how you're going to play.
Exactly, yeah.
Like, you have to change it up. You have to make a different alliance. You sometimes have to lie a little.
Yeah.
You know, I did it with... who did I end up doing it with that I put on the block?
Was it Adam?
Adam.
Or you tried to, at least.
Yeah,
he was protected.
Where I put him on the block, and then he ended up being protected, and I just had to totally make up that lie. Like, that was the plan the whole time, actually, you know? And he bought it, luckily. But you kind of have to do that. There's not a way to win without doing that at some point.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you so much. I wish you nothing but the best luck in the Brother Legends, and I hope you try your hardest.
Definitely.
Thank you.